We begin this morning with our top story, yet another Trump administration shakeup. Steve Bannon, the president's chief strategist, was ousted Friday while the president was at Camp David for national security meetings. Bannon was the architect of Mr. Trump's election victory, but as a far-right nationalist, he was also a contentious presence in the White House.
After his meetings, the president returned to his golf course in Bedminster, New Jersey, without any comment about Bannon's departure. Errol Barnett is in New Jersey with the latest. Errol, good morning.
Good morning. White House officials claim that Steve Bannon and Chief of Staff General John Kelly mutually agreed that it was time for Bannon to go. But sources tell CBS News that President Trump has been frustrated by Bannon's rising profile and by media coverage of Bannon as the real mastermind behind President Trump's campaign. President Trump arrived in New Jersey Friday amid unanswered questions about his decision to fire chief strategist Steve Bannon.
We'll see what happens with Mr. Bannon.
At an explosive press conference earlier in the week, the president refused to express confidence in Bannon and downplayed his role in the 2016 campaign.
Mr. Bannon came on very late, you know that. I went through 17 senators, governors, and I won all the primaries. Mr. Bannon came on very much later than that.
As one of Mr. Trump's first White House hires, Bannon arrived with a nationalist agenda, claiming shortly after the inauguration that he was ready to fight for a new political order.
If you think they're going to give you your country back without a fight, you are sadly mistaken. Every day it is going to be a fight.
Bannon had been a consistent lightning rod for criticism, partly because of his work for Breitbart News. But within hours of his firing, the outlet announced he would return as its executive chairman. And in an interview with the Weekly Standard, Bannon said his departure signals that the Trump presidency his movement fought for is over. But returning to Breitbart meant he's got his hands back on his weapons, and he vowed to crush the opposition.
Is Steve Bannon explain it? Okay, but I said he was.
Unafraid to feud with other White House officials, Bannon had publicly butted heads with several colleagues, including a recent clash with short-lived communications director Anthony Scaramucci.
Is he going to be gone in a week?
That's up to the president.
But what do you think? What do you think? What does the mooch think?
Well, if it was up to me, he would be gone.
Okay.
But it's not up to me.
Now, the Weekly Standard interview was just one in a series of really exit interviews for Bannon that he gave this past week. In an earlier exchange, he contradicted the president on North Korea and called for a maniacal focus on China. Now, back at the helm of Breitbart, Bannon says he is jacked up and will likely continue the feuds that he began while he was in the White House. And the White House has just announced that President Trump will not participate in the Kennedy Center honors so as to not be a political distraction. Anthony?
Errol Barnett in New Jersey. Thank you, Errol.